Welcome. In today's episode, we're talking cruel summer, shifting 11 gears, behind the curtain at Grace, and in tips and tools, we tango with the Terminator. But we'll be back. We'll be back.
I see what you did there.
You did see, because you know what we're going to talk about.
Danielle.
I know. It's all I'm here for.
Creative introductions.
Yeah. Oh, we need some words. Bring Danielle in.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I love it.
We both appreciate it.
For those of you who are new to the podcast, my name's Danielle Hartland, and this is Pastor Derek Sanford, and we have this new Diggs.
Yeah, we got some new Diggs.
Yeah.
Stepping up in the world.
I was thinking, like, when the team, thank you, Ellen, Daryl, Owen, Matt, everybody, Nick, when they were working on it, I was like, yeah, it is weird. Like, we used to do it where we don't ever talk to each other like this.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Like sitting in a booth together.
We go to war shoulder to shoulder, but we don't ever talk that way. Oh, my gosh.
Now they know we have cameras. Everyone can have my reactions. I'm excited to do this again.
What do you do here? What do you do at Grace?
Oh, good question.
You know? Tell people what your role is.
So I have the awesome honor of leading the programming team here. Right. So that's everything from communications, marketing. We have some content that we do, video, graphics, and tech.
Yep.
Yeah, creative endeavors at the church, basically.
And we've done this together for a long time. So one of the things that people who have listened to the first two seasons have said is that they're like, man, you guys seem to really know each other. And it's like, yeah, we both know too much.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's like a mutual, what is it called? Like
self-assured destruction.
Yeah, thank you. We can't launch nuclear war against the other.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so we've been doing this a long time. You were in the youth ministry when I was a youth pastor and have been in leadership here. And so we're just kind of chronicling our journey. For those that are new, chronicling our journey through this shift that we're making as a church. Grace is a very old church. 1895, we started with 19 Swedish immigrants on the corner of 7th and Holland in downtown Erie, Pennsylvania. And our church has morphed a lot since then. But right now, we're going through a major shift from, kind of a church growth attractional model, which is basically the model that I came up. I just celebrated 30 years here at Grace this year, so been at this for a long time, and we're making a shift to more of a disciple-oriented missional multiplication model as a church, and we just decided to kind of chronicle our journey through that process, and so it should be fun. But let's catch up first before we talk more about all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So summer catch up. Okay, I realized we have a full circle moment here. I was like one of the first.
I'm nervous about this.
No, it was one of the first couple episodes, a couple seasons ago. We talked about your healthy obsession with fantasy football and how your mind works and whatever.
Yeah.
And we had a banter about whether or not we thought Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship was real.
Oh my gosh.
Derek.
What's happening?
You know what's happening because everybody knows what's happening. We shouldn't even be talking about anything other than this on this podcast today.
I own Travis Kelce in one of my dynasty leagues, and this is of great concern to me for other reasons.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, so I'm trying to trade.
She's making a lot of sourdough bread and stuff too, so he's going to slow down.
I'm trying to trade him as quickly as possible. Get out while I can.
Get out.
Just give me a second round draft pick next year. I'll be fine.
That's it.
You didn't think it was going this way, did you?
First year married.
Yeah. When are they getting married? I haven't heard. To be honest,
they're already married. They just got engaged.
I don't really follow it. I know. I don't.
Yes, you do.
This part of this, I heard that they got engaged. That's about and that's about all I know.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it.
There's fantastic memes, which I've seen. So my favorite was he's chosen his groomsman, and it was a picture of 4 referees standing right next to him.
Okay, I even get that. I get that joke.
Yeah. So.
No.
If we get good memes out of it, I'm all fine with it.
Yeah. So, but again, I will say back to our original conversation. The timing is interesting.
Listen, they're business people.
End of her tour. She just said she's coming out with a new album, and his season is starting.
Yeah, they're business people. Everybody benefits, right? NFL benefits. The music industry.
I saw some documentary where, or not documentary. It was part of a documentary where they were saying the Chiefs specifically, their fandom flipped. It's 58% women,
female.
40. Yeah, which is but for them that's a win because that's
is it though?
Well, it's a win. I mean business-wise.
Okay.
Because it's like the whole family's coming to the game now. It's not just like the dad and his friend.
Right. And maybe
to
they're
the
all
dad's chagrin, maybe.
Exactly.
But
yeah. And maybe the whole family's buying jerseys instead of just the guy.
Like,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It's lifting up everything. Anyway, I don't care about this. I just thought it was funny that was like one of the first things we talked about randomly.
That's funny.
And your fantasy football draft kicked off, one of them.
Yeah.
The other day, which was fun to overhear.
This was our staff. We have a staff league from some of the guys on our staff. So
I'm not
that's
in
fun.
it.
You were.
I was. I would be again, but nobody asked.
Really?
I 100% would.
Oh, okay.
As long as nobody gets mad at me for doing the dumb trades.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's part of the fun. It's just, I thought you went out on a little bit of a sour note, but
didn't I win? No, I never won.
No, Danielle,
hang on. I held my own.
Let's be honest.
I held my own.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, how about summertime? What'd you do this summer?
Summer was great. I had a little bit of time. Man, we went to Europe.
By the way, I already know all this.
Yeah.
So we just said like we know each other really well. I'm like, what'd you do this summer?
Yeah. This is for the benefit of others.
Yeah, maybe an extra little nugget, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So Aiden and Kim and I went to England, went to London. And that's the first time I'd ever been there. So we've been lots of places, but like I'd never been there. So we had just an absolute blast. Yeah. My funny takeaways were all the pomp and circumstance. Like we saw the changing of the guard. We actually saw King Charles come riding through in his car, like right in front of us, and all the stuff with that. And they wear all their costumes and everything. Okay. And I came back going, we need to work on our entrances.
Yeah,
if there's one thing I learned from
the British know how to come into a room or anything.
Yeah,
outside
the entrances are spectacular.
Pageantry.
So when I come up to preach next week, I expect it. And I realize you don't even have to be really good at playing the bugle. You just play it, and then something happens. So we don't even need to set the bar too high. So, but here's the big moment. We went to Oxford for a day. And I mean, I just geeked out so hard. I mean, it was so incredible. Yeah. I've been like ever since like on this deep C.S. Lewis, dive and reading all his stuff again, and like with all the backstory and it was just so spectacular. It was surreal. Yeah. Felt like I was in a Harry Potter movie and a C.S. Lewis thing all at once. It was, and Tolkien and they were all there and. Hearing the stories from, we actually got a guide that did a Tolkien Lewis tour with us through Oxford, a walking tour. And man, my poor wife and daughter were just like, he and I were like vibing off each other so hard. They're like, oh, this is great. They're looking at the trees and the paths.
It's still beautiful.
No, it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, it was great.
That's
it was
cool.
great. I definitely want to go back and soak it in a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm in this Thursday night guys group now they got so compelled. We're actually reading Till We Have Faces together as almost like a book club, which is not what this thing started as. Yeah. But
That's cool.
man, until that this is my favorite Lewis book, but not everybody does. But it's been fun getting back into it because it was actually Lewis's favorite of his books.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he basically said, he's on record of saying, this is my best book. Oh. And man, when you read that book in conjunction with like the Four Loves and some of the thought is that he put all of his other works into this book. Oh, yeah. But then wrote it as a fantasy, like a mythology kind of thing, which was his fascination from the beginning before he even became a Christian. So anyway, we could do a whole segment on that. But
yes, we could.
Yeah, it was.
But that's awesome.
But so that's been super fun. How about you? What happened to you this summer?
Well, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we went to Dirty Myrtle, as per usual. The land of
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, sorry.
Just to be very clear.
Just so you don't think it's another Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in the United States.
Thank you. Yeah. As long as people don't think it's like Beach 10 at Lake Erie or something like that.
Actually, Lake Erie's funny. No, there are beautiful parts of Myrtle Beach, obviously. We wouldn't go there. But Dave's not like that. Yeah, we went. That was our main vacation, which was cool. We ended up we did not plan this. So financially,
Right.
But I didn't know this. You can Airbnb like an RV or like a trail, whatever, like a camper.
Wow.
I just randomly looked in this campground on the beach that Dave grew up. My husband Dave grew up going to Myrtle Beach several times a year with his family. There were like 10 openings, which is so weird. It was like height of the summer.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, hey, there's like openings, and we just started looking. Found it was like the cost of an Airbnb.
Wow.
I mean, it was not that.
Yeah.
It was just something we
that's
didn't plan
interesting.
on. So his best friend, was in the States. They're missionaries overseas, and they were driving up from Florida, and they ended up just meeting us there, and we had like almost a week with them at this campground, kind of unexpectedly, which was really cool. And the thing that was cool about it is, as you probably remember, they have kids, we have Dax. Your kids have to get to a certain age, to which you can have conversations with adults again, like on dinner trips, whatever.
Totally.
And so all the kids, I think, were like sweet spot for that. Like they were doing their own thing, old enough to like kind of walk to the beach on their own stuff. So we had some really like cool, beautiful conversations, and
that's awesome.
Got to like, I feel like truly catch up with them.
Yeah.
Even though we've seen them, I don't feel like we've caught up with them in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. It was really cool, fun. Yeah. So that was our big thing.
That's great. Love it.
Love it.
And we told people last time that I was a grandpa, so I have to give one quick Ruby update.
Course.
You know, so she's 9 months. She just turned 9 months. She's walking very early, so she's walking everywhere. She crawled for like one day and then decided to walk.
That's how Dax was.
Yeah,
it was like
it's a certain personality or something that.
It is.
They transitioned her to a big bed, so she's got like her whole room.
That's early. I mean, it's awesome. I'm saying you
her
can tell
whole room
she's
is a bed. Like it's huge. It's like it looks like a sheep pen. But it's great. It's great. So we're having so much fun with Ruby. So
I didn't know they made like sheep pen beds. You showed me that picture the other day. I was like,
it's a lot. It's huge.
It's cute.
She's sitting in the middle of it with a huge
At first,
smile
I thought Kim built it or something.
No,
I was
no.
like, I've never seen.
I don't know where
they
found it, but
love it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so every week, what we want to do is have a segment, and we're super excited about this. It's new. We have not done this before. You guys who have listened for a while have heard us talk about Clarity House and or Dave and Shane. And so...
which is not a Christian music band. This is...
it does sound like it. Shane and Shane. Oh, shout out. Keep dating ourselves. Let's do this. So let's talk about that a little bit, like your kind of hopes for that, why we're doing that segment, and what that's going to look like.
Yeah, really, we're trying something a little new, really, this whole season, based on some of that. So people who've listened know that this group is who helped us to begin to make this transition as a church. Well, they've also helped a bunch of other churches across the country who are in this same process as us of transitioning their churches from kind of a growth megachurch model to a multiplication model, discipleship model, and so they're going to weigh in, and really this season we're talking about, and we're going to organize it around these 11 shifts that we're saying every church must make. And so we'll be starting out every week with a 3 to 5 minute segment from Dave and Shane, who are going to be popping on, and we've seen a couple of their prototypes, and it's just gold, guys. It's just really you if you tune in just for that, you're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we'll move from that segment as we introduce the topic, and I'll share the topics in a minute, into an interview with you and I and another church leader from around the country who's pastoring or leading another church, who's in the middle of that topic's transition. And so it should be really good that they're kind of in the waters with us, in this transition mode. So, and I would just say to our listeners, like if you've been in ministry for any length of time, like you know that the ground is shifting. Yeah. I think everybody feels it and senses it, and the strategies that worked 20 years ago are not the strategies that are producing disciples today. Yeah. And I think people's expectation of church has changed, culture has changed, and whether we like it or not, the church has changed too.
Yeah, for sure.
And the question is, are we going to go with it, or are we going to, dig our heels in? And just to be clear, change doesn't mean chasing all the latest trends or, something like that, scrapping everything that came before. It's not that at all. It's just recentering on the mission of Jesus and then asking hard questions about, are we living that mission in our own time, in our own place as faithful as we possibly can.
That's good.
And so during these next 11 episodes, we're gonna talk about 11 real pivotal shifts that we believe every church needs to wrestle through, and as we move from attractional, crowd-centered to discipleship multiplication. So the 11 shifts are from Sunday to everyday, from complexity to clarity, from staff-driven to leader-multiplying, from teaching to training, from attendance to apprenticeship, from assimilation to activation, from consumer culture to kingdom culture, from growth to depth, from seeker to sender, from hero pastor to healthy church, and from events to environments.
Easy.
So I think all of these, for anybody listening, all of these shifts are going to challenge you. They're going to stretch the imagination, I think, of what the church can and should be. And honestly, I think some of them are going to sting a little, which for us too.
For sure.
And so because they just hit close to home. But I just believe that if, those that are listening, if we'll lean in and think about these things together, I just believe we're going to come away with a clearer picture about what the church should look like in our time. And because we like to keep it practical, we're also adding another segment. We're going to keep our segment that we, what happened this week, I think is what we called it. We're calling it Behind the Curtain. Yeah. And we just want to talk about really, really recent stuff that we're walking through. We've heard from some of our listeners that that's been a really helpful segment.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of us saying, here's what happened this week and here's what we did about it. But one other thing at the very end, we'll talk about some ministry tips and tools. Yeah. Tools and tips. What did we decide? Tips and tools.
Tips and tools.
Tips and tools. And so I'm going to just share a tool or a principle or a practice that has shaped us. It's going to be very quick. Think of it as a mini coaching session tucked inside every episode. And again, whether you're a pastor, church leader, someone who just loves the church and wants to listen in, what's going on behind the scene. I know we got a lot of Grace Church folks that listen to this to get insider information. I would just say you don't want to miss this season. It's going to be great.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, let's jump in. Let's talk about our Reinventing Church topic. So again, we're shifting from a church growth attractional model to a missional multiplication model without throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
We're like merging these things together.
Yep.
And so normally, like you said, we'll have maybe a guest that we're interviewing for this, but today I think you want to just review a couple things we talked about.
Yeah, so I went back to the very first episode.
Oh, fancy. Just like Taylor.
Yeah. You're right.
See, she's everywhere.
I mean,
she is guiding us, I guess.
Do you like her music?
Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you'd asked me that 4 years ago, I would have said no. I started listening to it.
Did you change or did she change?
I think when she lost her mind because she couldn't have her albums and she didn't lose her mind, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When that happened to her, I do think she changed.
Really?
I do. Because she was like a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, she was young when she started.
So she had to grow up and now she's
so.
All of a sudden she's...
Yeah. And and some of her songs are trite and some, whatever, fine. I think if she is the one that's coming up with some of these ideas and things, and if she is writing or at least collaborating, bare minimum, she's good with words, in my opinion. Like if you would just read, didn't we do this?
Yeah.
Did we do Taylor Swift or C.S. Lewis or something? Or like Proverbs or something?
No, it was C.S. Lewis.
It was C.S. Lewis, yeah. I mean, she can be profound.
Right.
So anyway, I think she's very creative, and I think she's built something that nobody else has ever done before. Which is true. For me, those kinds of things attract me. Like I just want to know what's going on. So I started listening to her music and I was like, okay. Yeah. So I probably have like 5 or 6 that I listen to often.
How did we end up back here?
Because that's what she does.
She's like a brain worm.
She brings us all together.
Okay. I went the brain worm route. No. Okay. So I went back to our original episode. I think that's where we started.
Can we edit? Just kidding.
And the thing that we talked about, that very first episode, is we said 5 mind-shifting insights about reinventing church. And so I thought we'd come back to those and just kind of use them as a jumping off point to talk about where we are 2 years later and thinking about these things. And so the first one that we talked about was this phrase, the modern church is over-inspired and undertrained. And this idea that, man, lots of people know how to come together and raise their hands in worship and sing great songs and hear great sermons even. but not a ton of people know exactly what to do with that and how to actually live it out. And so we talked about this idea that, the church is great at kind of producing content that inspires people, but have we trained people?
Yeah.
And I think we even mentioned along the way, this Daniel moment at the beginning of Daniel when, he's being asked to do all these things to assimilate to Babylon, and he refuses to eat the food. And then he says, test me in this. And so test and see if my way isn't better. And it's like, do we have a generation of Christians who are walking out their faith in such a way that they could say, test me?
No.
Right. I think you're right. Our
conclusion has been no.
And so one of the things we talked about in that first episode is like, could we move from our posture from wow to aha? So in other words, instead of people when they come to a worship service or whatever, instead of going, oh wow, like we did this new song, or wow, that sermon was awesome, that they go, aha, I could do that. Or I know what to do with that. And so, I would even say as recently as this Sunday, I mean, I've made some shifts even in my preaching and some of that stuff, even as recently as this Sunday. I mean, I had one of our staff people actually come up to me and say, this was a training sermon.
Nice.
Like, I feel like you trained us.
Yeah, cool.
And it wasn't just a teaching sermon. So there was a tool with it, and we talked very practically about kind of the questions Jesus asked and how we could use the question ladder that moved up. So anyway, that's one little thing. But I was reflecting on another story from a recent kind of discipleship group that met in one of our groups, and so again, we're trying to get really practical with these things.
Yeah.
And the person was a business owner. The person says, they're just trying to figure out how to integrate their faith into their workplace. And so one of the other people in the group says, hey, how are you integrating your faith into work? He says, I never thought about it, which is a common response that we've found. Yeah. Never thought about how my faith plays into the work. So the group starts talking about, well, what are you like at work? Like, what do people think of you at work? How is your influence at work? And the person says, actually, I'm a bit of a hothead. Like, people think that I have a short fuse. And, they walk out of my office probably feeling a little worse about themselves when they walked in.
Wow.
So this person's kind of self-identifying this thing. Yeah. And so, again, this is... So they say, what would it look like to not do that? What would it take to not do that? That's right. Now, what would it take to not be that guy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he goes, well, I bet if I prayed to God before somebody walked into my office and just invited him into my mind and heart again, invited him into the space, that might change my.
Wow.
Everyone's like, yeah. Yes, do that.
Wow.
And so we've made it kind of a practice to walk out of those with an I will statement. What are you going to do? So I will this week before at least one
baby steps.
Before at least one encounter with an employee, I'm going to pray and invite God into the thing. He comes back next week and is like, that changed everything. He's like, the conversation was different. They told me about their family. I got insight into why things weren't going as well at work as the thing I was going to confront them on. All of a sudden I had context for it. I got to care for them. He said, I even felt like I could have said a prayer for him. And so the group goes, did you? Yeah. He's like, no way. So this week, your I will statement is, if that comes up, good. I will pray for it, even if it's not with them, even if it's right after they leave. Give it. So anyway, it's just so this neat. It reminds me, the modern church is over-inspired and under-trained. Yep. Like, who's walking with our people through those moments of going, let's just talk day to day. Is Jesus showing up in your life?
Yeah.
And it's not rocket science.
Right.
Of like, okay, I do this. Okay, well, what would it look like for you to not do that? Yeah. And to have a community around you that's going to hold you accountable to do something. I mean, it's just wild. So anyway.
Yeah. As I was reflecting on that one, I was thinking through, and this is me included, we just love to be in places and exposed to things that make us feel good.
Sure.
That's a human thing. And we have so fed into that. And I even think of again, we've said this before, but I don't besmirch or I don't want to say anything negative about what we quote unquote used to do because it was for the right time and the right place, I believe.
Right.
And so, not that we didn't make mistakes, obviously, but
Right.
like I think about stuff like when I would like meet with other churches or like talk about like how to make experiences that like can move people, kind of a thing.
Right.
I was always talking about moving to action, not emotionally moving.
Right.
But the examples even I would use are just like, we're in competition with all these things.
Right.
TV, video, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not.
Right.
And so even just like dialing that back, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people might come here to feel good, to get an injection, a boost, but like for what?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is the Sunday even experience for? And there's other, it's not just Sunday experience, there's other
Yep.
training
Yep.
spaces. But if we can continue, and we're still big time tweaking this
Yeah.
in our organization, but if we can give people that, yeah, it's fine. You come here in community, you're rubbing shoulders with people, you're worshiping together. For what? Now, what are you going to do with this time, or what are you going to do with what you learned in this time, or whatever? And just, I don't know. I've just been reflecting on just.
I think
that.
I think it's really wise, and I think the baby step for us is even just thinking like, I'm trying to dial down the win, like what's a win in this for us, and just going. So yes, I would love to have our people's hearts transformed and them doing different things in those moments.
Sure.
The first win of all is that they would think about it.
Right.
That when they're in their
How to
day,
think about it
how
in
do
your
I
normal
think
life.
about this idea
Yeah.
that my faith in Jesus is real right now,
Yeah.
and that Jesus is with me right now,
Yeah.
and just I put this is random, but I'm like, if 50% of our church just thought about it
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
we could transform the city.
Yeah. Sure.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, we could even stop
Yeah.
short of all the training and all that. Like, just think about it.
Yeah.
And bring it to mind that I'm a child of God right now. And what does that mean for this moment? Like, oh my gosh. So anyway,
Good.
I think that's the first one.
That's great.
The second one is that every church should define discipleship locally. And so we talked a lot about our process at the time of just saying, it was a big aha moment for me.
Me too.
Of just going, yeah, there's all these discipleship principles in the scriptures for sure. And, you know, evangelism and prayer and mission and giving. And, you know, there's these markers of discipleship. It was the big reveal to me to go, we could actually put definition around that locally. And we started with this kind of local predicament. What does this area need right now? What are some of the struggles and problems that our region has, this region of the world? And then ask the question, what kind of disciple is required to meet this moment right now in this region? And to bring definition, and again, we're not straying far from the biblical definitions, it's putting new language to what does that look like to be an evangelist in our time and place. And so we've used this word compassionate storyteller, that there has to be compassion, and it's revolving around story, that there's a lot of broken stories in our, and how do we tell a better story, you know? And so again, it's just bringing definition to this really big idea that we can make very complicated. What does it mean to be a disciple? And well, there's 15 markers that you need to, you know what I mean? And and so and just to say we can actually put wording to it, bring definition to it around these scriptural principles that define it for our time and place. And so that's been pretty transformative to us.
I agree. And again, the muscle previously would be, because we've done that work before. What are the things around Erie that are like, what are our challenges? What are we dealing with? Blah, blah. This is how we have 5,000 nonprofits pop up.
Right.
Because the muscle is, what's the program?
That's right.
What's the, where does the money need to go? Where does it versus
what kind of people do we need to make?
We just need different kinds of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was, that probably that local predicament stuff was like, I'll never forget that stuff.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, and I think, it's led us to really lean into those discipleship roles. We have 4 of them. And for example, I just did the whole series in August is about embedded influencer, which is another one of those roles: compassionate storyteller, intentional friend, embedded influencer, savvy follower. So, it's affected our preaching. How are we helping people to understand those 4 roles? We've been behind the scenes building trainings. So we're getting ready to launch our first master training course for Intentional Friend next week, and creating tools around that. And it's been really transformative to us. And our church is so hungry for it. I mean, I told the story, like, we did a very targeted invitation to people to come into this First Master Training course based on those who have self-evaluated themselves around these dream disciple roles and said, this is my weakest area that I need training on. We only opened up the class to those people. So we sent those people an email. I think we had 25 spaces or whatever. It was full in 48 hours. Like people are so hungry because we've given it some definition and going, man, if you could get better in this area, man, you could really be kind of a maturing disciple of Jesus that's doing this work. So
yeah, it gives people a target. Like, this is what this could look like.
Right. Exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The third one is that, and I went back, and this is the one that rubbed me the wrong way, just because it probably doesn't rise to the level of the others. But I just put churches generally misuse their core values. And I think we were in the middle of a core value conversation at the time and just going, we'd used our core values for years kind of as discipleship measures. And that's not really how they're most effective. And so one of the big pivots for us was to say, we're going to redefine the values. These are our North Stars in terms of keeping us going in the right direction. Generally, they help us to not go too far to the right or to the left. But the part of that process that was so helpful was the demonstrated by. So for each core value, we came up with a couple of demonstrated by statements. So here's our value, and here's how that value is demonstrated in our actual life and leadership as a church. And that was super helpful.
Yeah, that was really good.
But if I were to come in with a new one right now for a number 3, it would be discipleship is less complicated than we think it is.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I think for our church in general, I think for churches in general, discipleship has become this mysterious, it almost feels like this mysterious thing that we can never really catch or grab onto. And,
don't you almost think, sorry.
No, say it.
Don't you almost think that is almost like, it's like this, it's like we're trying to on purpose subconsciously make it big.
Too big to do.
To do. People like this who do. There are people like who walk around, this is like their MO, but that's what it feels like. It feels like, it's the 15 laws and the and the whatever and whatever. And it's, you got to know the pie chart and what % of this and that and the other thing you got to be and all these rules. And that's just not.
I mean, even just saying the word discipleship, I know people listening, it's like every brain will pop in a different picture of what that looks like or means. It's usually based on our tradition or where we grew up or whatever we put around that word. And honestly, it's as simple as helping another human being consistently take their next spiritual step toward Jesus. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And so, I described that business person that so that was in one of what we're calling our intensives, and it's just it's a huddle. It's essentially a classic huddle environment, and the frustration for me is when I go back to all of the material that I've created over the years to help discipleship.
If I held in my arms all the binders you made for me,
all right,
from 17 years old,
it would be like a Congress bill.
Correct.
Those pictures you see stacked on
pork spending. All awesome stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, it's great. It's great. And I labored and poured over it. And I've done now 3 of these leadership intensives. That story came from one of them. And it's like we put those 4 discipleship roles in front of the group. Each has 2 questions with it, 2 like probing questions. So there's 8 total questions. We literally go read those 8 questions till the Holy Spirit tells you to stop. When somebody okay, he stopped me. Why? Why did the Spirit tell you to stop there? Okay, they say it. Turn to the rest of the group. What is the Holy Spirit telling you guys to tell that person? Anybody have a story, something pop into mind, a scripture, a life experience that might help them in this moment? So Spirit of God, please work, but speak through us to this person. Great. They say it. Next. Who's next? Okay, he stopped me here. What is the Holy Spirit telling everyone else to tell you? We'd go through that, and then we get to the end and create an I will statement, because we would just say, we don't want to be the kind of people who when God tells us to do something, we don't do it. So he's obviously spoken to you. What are you going to do about it? So everybody says, I will, and then they fill in that sentence. It's been more transformative than any discipleship material I've ever created.
Yeah.
And So it's simpler than, and here's the thing that I love about it. We'll talk more about this season, but like that's also transferable.
Right.
That's transferable. That's not something that, you need to be a great teacher. Or you need to have Derek's, experience.
Yeah,
or,
go to the 16-week course on whatever and learn how to lead the...
It's like, can you sit down with people, walk them through a series of questions, invite the Holy Spirit to the space, and then say, what are you going to do about it? That's it. That's discipleship.
That's it. And I will say, he is not... like oversimplifying what these are. The one I was in was exactly like that.
Just that.
That's literally all you talked about.
Yeah.
And all you did. Yeah. And it was, it was transformative for sure.
And people are like, can we never stop doing this?
Right.
I mean, it's like, it's so compelling to be in an environment like that. So
that's great.
That would be
That's
my new third one.
Yeah, I agree.
The fourth is, and we'll rush through these last two. People are desperate to find their purpose in life. And so, I think that's still so true. We've gone through a number of now groups that have come through this handcrafted calling experience. And it's helping them to define their 2-word purpose, their calling statement. And I'm just telling you that to put words to it, and the stories that are emerging from people who are in the marketplace, or people who are in their nonprofit, or people who are in their affinity group that understand those 2 words ringing in their ears, that this is why I'm walking into this space. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm most excited about that. That's the most undeveloped, I think, part of what we're doing right now. But holy moly, it's going to change everything. Yeah, and then fifth is people's experience of the church is tied to a strict but unwritten social contract.
Yep.
And so anytime you start messing with change, there's this contract that people have in their mind that says, this is what the church does for me, and this is what I do for the church, and don't mess with that.
Yes.
And as soon as you start messing with that, and so we've been messing with it, and we've definitely felt it as a church. I mean, just to bring people up to speed, we certainly are experiencing momentum as a church, but definitely have had a little bit of people opting out of this new vision of just not for me, because it broke the social code. They said, I want the church to do these things for me.
Yep.
And here's what I will do. And usually what I will do is I'll show up on Sundays a couple times a month. I'll put some money in the plate and I'll write an email when I'm ticked off.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Or you will provide an environment in which I can anytime bring somebody with me, and you can get them across some sort of finish line.
Now, listen, I'm undersized. We have a lot of people at Grace who are, that's not their contract.
Oh, no.
They are
awesome.
amazing, fully in. But the people who that was their expectation, this is tweaking the wrong way.
Yeah,
they're like, I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, and you probably have to wrestle with it. We all had to wrestle with it, actually.
Yep, we all do, including me.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good. Okay, good reminder. All right, so our next segment we're calling Behind the Curtain. This is what we talked about at the beginning. People are kind of, like to see us mess about, if you will.
We have a lot of things we could talk about this week. Amen?
Yes. Always. But and maybe someday we'll just do we'll just do a daily podcast. Just come in here and say what happened. You're not going to believe what just happened.
Yeah. Come in at 5:00 every day and just download your off gas.
But it's obviously not all bad. It's hardly bad. But I think I hope it's helpful to be able to see, there's not a lot of people that are literally saying like this positive or negative, we messed this up, or this is how we got there, or whatever. So I hope it's helpful.
Yeah. So
you have a really cool.
We'll start with a positive.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we've talked about these intensives a couple times now, so this is kind of on theme. But I had a breakfast this morning with a young man, 23-year-old, came through an intensive with me a couple rounds ago, and without my knowing it, prompting it, anything, he had a breakfast with me this morning just to kind of catch me up. And he said, since we finished, I've turned around and done an intensive with my 4 brothers.
Yeah.
So they're family, you have a family of these young dudes, and a couple older, couple younger, and he's walking them through this intensive. He's like, it's just been transformational for my family.
Yeah.
And for me.
Yeah.
But when I talk about it being transferable and not complicated, like, to me, that's one of the markers of like, is it good?
Right.
Because if it's good, it can be transferred to the next round,
Right.
and have effectiveness and fruit out of it. Like, I don't want to just make it seem like if it's simple, it's right, because that's not always true. but when there's fruit and faithfulness attached to it, it just. So it was just like that was so cool. This morning, a couple hours ago, like just buoyed my spirit, because it's like. That's the idea, and I think he used the word. Did I tell you the word? It was
sanctioned or something
unsanctioned,
like that.
Yeah. He's doing this unsanctioned ministry. I'm like, my prayer is that we have about 2,000 unsanctioned ministries going on like this all the time, because if we're controlling it, it's not.
It won't go.
It's not multiplying.
Right. Right. That's great.
So yeah, that was cool. That's awesome. That just happened this morning, but we can get in some of the dirt probably as it settles out. Next time.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, tips and tools. So we want to talk a little bit about AI, and I realized you and we've had like little blips of conversation. I don't think we've actually ever talked about it together, like AI, Derek.
Right.
Hey, Derek. AI. We've been in separate meetings for some reason about it. Yeah. So what's your angle? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I just think that Christians in general, the church specifically, is really wrestling through, like, what do we do with this? What does it mean? I mean, I preached a sermon on it. In fact, if anyone wants to go download that, you could go check out the sermon in the archives. I think, it's one of these things where I feel like it either gets embraced fully as the answer to all of humanity's problems, or it gets rejected out of hand as the devil and the mark of the beast and whatever. And so there seems to be these like two responses or reactions to it. And it's just like anything else. I just feel like the church needs to come in and go, okay, what is the good? What's the bad? How do we navigate that? And it is different, than other technologies.
It is.
So it's not a one-to-one comparison, but I think there's a sense where we need to celebrate just think about the human ingenuity that's required to come up with an invention like that. I mean, It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
incredible. And it's going to help people medically. It's going to there's just so many incredible things that are going to come out from it. Yeah. Will it eventually destroy our society? I don't know, but that's the downside.
Okay, but let's say this for everyone. This version of AI that we're using, that most of us are using, is incapable of taking over the world.
Correct.
There are other versions that are to be dreamt of and that are probably in some back room somewhere, 100%.
Right.
But not...
And speaking of memes, there's some good ones around this too, because it's like, humanity, or AI is going to take over humanity. AI is these robots in China running around a track or whatever, like crashing into each other, looking like total. Yeah, it's just funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, but
that's good.
But the development right now is that it's like toddler stage.
Yeah.
And when it gets to teenage and grown adult stage, I think there's going to have to be a lot more.
Of course.
Conversation around.
Of course, yeah.
So anyway, it's a real thing for the church. I came up with a tool for our writing team, and we're going to include that in my email distribution. So if people want to go sign up for the email, this whole season we're going to include some tools along the way that are very specific that I think will be like turnkey helpful
for sure.
To churches. But anything that you have to say about AI? Like
a lot of things to say, but I won't. But so I want to recommend a book, first of all.
Yeah.
This book, AI in the Church, it's by Jason Moore. I sat in on a workshop he did.
Yeah.
The reason I like his perspective, and I think would be good for church leaders, is he grew up, for those of you that know maybe Kinghamsburg Church in Ohio.
In Ohio, yeah.
He was their like graphic designer from the jump.
Oh, wow.
Went to school while he was working there and built, basically ended up doing my job at Kinghamsburg.
Wow.
So, creative church, awesome place. He ended up being kind of their technology czar. So he really got in on the ground floor of a lot of this. I like his approach because he's coming from a ministry perspective, from a pastoral perspective, but also from a creative perspective, because he cares about the humanity of the work, all the things, but yet he's very knowledgeable. So it's not just him making a case for or against. He's really like, so I recommend that book.
That's
highly.
Great.
And I would just say, I guess kind of what I've already said is like the AI that we have right now in our fingertips, it's large language model, predictive language model AI. It's not actually able to make its own decisions. It's here's an example. So we just started planning our big Christmas program.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, everyone's telling me all this different information about what schools in Erie are in and out on Christmas Eve, like, or on Christmas week. Wow. When do schools go out of session? So I have ChatGPT like voice on my phone now. Yeah. So I was just like, hey, can you, and I talk to it like it's my friend, which is really sick, but it's just fun. So I'm like, hey, can you look at all the schools in Erie County and Crawford County? Let me know who's in session December 22nd and December 23rd of this year. And yeah, just make like a chart and rank it in like I forget what I said, like most days off to least days off or whatever. So I see it, I look, and I had not ever seen this before. It started telling me like, checking Erie County PDF, whatever. So I was like, well, so shut that down.
Chronicles its work.
So I like shut that down, and I just kept working on the thing that I was prepping for the meeting. And then I look over, chart. I'm looking at the chart, and I'm like, whoa, it's done. Yeah. It's done. I could have gone to every single school website, the whole thing. So I guess my thing is, as long as you're researching stuff, you know what you're using and how you're using it, it's an excellent productivity tool. Yeah. Never ever would I, even with that chart, I checked a couple. Right. Like I would never just be like, print,
you can't,
no.
Because it's not always right.
No.
And
guys,
it lies
it's
sometimes.
so stupid. It is nothing. It's just searching really fast. Like, so what it did for the chart, that's what it does when you're like, hey, can you help me do a Bible study for my blah, blah about Philippians 2? Right. All it's doing is just pulling stuff that already exists. So it's going to get it wrong because it's not deciding. Yep. It's just ranking based on an algorithm, just like your Facebook feed or just like your Netflix recommendations or whatever. That's all it's doing just with words. And they've coded it to go like, oh, cool, like talk how, whatever. But anyway, I would say wade in, but look at because your tool is excellent in terms of like guardrails, like the whole human sandwich thing, like human input, AI help, human output, that whole thing. Yeah. But I'm a strong advocate of like getting in the water, playing with it, figuring it out, but just not, it's a do it with you, not a do it for you.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what, it was funny. I was talking to a brand new pastor last week out of the gates. We were talking a little bit about AI and he was asking me how I use it. And it was funny to me to think about, for me, having done this for 30 years and having thousands of files of sermons, thousands of leadership trainings, thousands of things in all those spaces that I've written, I've come up with, versus him just starting out who has like 10. Yeah. And the temptations for us, I think, are different because the temptation for me is never to create using it. I've already got the stuff. It's to help me go through the stuff I already have and maybe repackage it or rethink it or come at it a different way. And so for me, it's almost like a research, like you just said, like a digging, like a buddy, digging tool. Yeah. And for him, the temptation is to go, I don't have anything created. Will you help me create something brand new? So it's just an interest, even just thinking from a longevity lens. Yeah. The temptations are different around it. So let me just give a couple of thoughts around this tool. I'm not going to give the whole thing. Yeah, if people want it, they can go find it. But it's broken down this way. And actually, this is for our writing teams, for our content teams. Yep. And so we felt like that was the first group that we really needed to give some guidance around. And so there's a whole theology section, a theology of AI. So what does it look like to keep tools in their proper place? And so I go through 5 theological concepts and some rationales that go with those. Then I go into a section of like 7 ways to use AI for writers, and so like things like research assistant, which is what we just kind of talked about, an editorial coach, so help edit, things. This is my favorite. This is actually one of my main uses right now is what I call the brevity buddy.
That's a good one.
Because I can take a finished product sermon and go, this is 500 words too long. And I'm going to be over time if I keep this exactly the way it is. I need 500 words cut out. Where would you recommend cutting them.
That's good.
And again, I don't always agree with where it wants to cut because it's like, no. I need to say that part.
You don't print that and just go
exactly.
preach. Yeah.
But
Print?
Where it can,
Sorry.
I don't print.
No, what's a print?
So anyway, that I think that, just, so there's some prompts here about how to properly use it. There's some prompts or some ways to not use it. And so ghostwriter, final editor, discernment replacer. And I think that's the one where it's just like, this is not going to discern what to say, what not to say. This cannot be the Holy Spirit for you.
Right.
You need to discern what is God inviting me to write, to say, to create, whatever. And so this can't take that place.
Right.
And then really the tool also includes just some sample prompts for each of those.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
so like if people wanted to copy and paste some prompts in, we've done some of that work. So anyway, that's a tool that we'll make available to people.
Nice.
But this little segment will be about tools like that we use from leadership to, to whatever. And we'll just, pick a different topic each time and include a tool.
Great. Sounds good.
Great.
Cool. Okay. Hey,
Danielle.
I think that's it.
We're off to the races again.
Okay.
Season 3.
Guys, if you've made it this far, I'm proud of you. I always just, guys, it's fine. It's all good. Okay, so.
And listen,
yes.
11 pivotal shifts every church needs to wrestle with.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to undersell for real, like what Clarity House is bringing in these guests.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so good.
Yep.
All right, cool. So if you like this episode, the other ones will be better. Tell us by leaving a rating or review, 5 stars if you did. And like we said, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. So subscribe. I know for me, I listen to podcasts and sometimes it takes them like 10 times. Like, okay, I need to subscribe to this so I know when there's a new thing. Happens all the time. So subscribe so you remember, and feel free to obviously share this with a friend. You can find detailed show notes, related resources over at dereksanford.com/reinventing church. And that's where you can also subscribe, hard word, to his newsletter, it's good. It has a lot of extra tools in it, some little behind the scenes stuff Derek likes. It's a good newsletter. So recommend it. All right. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining
everybody.
us. See ya.
Peace.